Have you ever played a video game before? Then have you ever wondered how they are created? Creating video games isn't as easy as you think. It requires skill in most aspects. Senior high school students who are interested in game development and simply gaming goes to programming and technical vocational track, but some even chose STEM. STEM is one of the most complicated strands you can take in senior high school, but there are aspects in these that are related to STEM. Technology though, science, engineering and math are also important, not only in game development, but it can be implemented in-game as well. They are all essential in making video games. Video game development stems right into two branches of the STEM track, engineering and technology. It is rather beneficial as STEM students will be able to apply what they learned in their jobs in video game development. What's the science behind video games? Computer science plays a big role in developing these games. Computer science deals with software development and video games are included. The development of a game, their design or art style, theories, controls are very important when developing a game. One branch of science that is very crucial when making games is mathematics, but it will be explained later on. Also take considering about physics and chemistry. For physics, one of the best examples is Mario's jump. How high can he jump or how far would he jump from one place to another? Most games also have their own physics on their games, such as RPGs, racing games, and sports games. In the 2017 Nintendo Switch launch title called The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, there is a term popular in the community called ragdoll physics due to its realistic physics the game has. Perfect example to show is Link continuously falling down the cliff. That hurts, but it also works. This game also includes chemistry in physics, a common element in games. Just watch how Link does different possible ways to do things with chemistry. Of course, this is technology. Video games run using computers, game consoles, and mobile devices. But still, you need to have knowledge of computers and how they work. Over time, there are some breakthroughs and advancements in the gaming industry, such as Nintendo 64's 3D graphics and Wii Remote's motion sensor and Microsoft Kinect's camera with motion sensing enabled. There are that many advances to the gaming industry, such as facial recognition, voice recognition, gesture control, graphics and HD displays, and many more. In engineering, it's all about programming. One must understand how certain programming operators interact with assembly language and other to program efficiently. You may need to have building, houses, and any structure when making a game world. In a popular game called Minecraft, players would be able to create things and structures, and that also practices engineering. Remember before that I mentioned about game physics? A dynamic game engine allows to have a dynamic physics that could fit into the game based on its gameplay and design, making it more realistic. Engineering may be harder to sell for game design and STEM, but it is still important to know how to program a game. Of course, there is math. Everyone hates math, right? Do they? Well, fun fact. Mathematics is the most prevalent discipline found in game design. I would ask, how much damage can I do on this enemy? What is the probability of spawning a rare item from an enemy? How fast will I be able to race? How do they count scores? They all use math. Any student who is getting into game design will have to learn higher math disciplines such as calculus, physics, linear equations, and much more. It is because of the concepts of physics and calculus that we are able to create realistic video games with realistic physics, body movement, vehicle movement, weather effects, much more. Let's try something unusual, like a fighting game. One perfect game for this is Super Smash Bros., a series of fighting games with a cast of Nintendo characters such as Mario, Link, Samus, and more, whose goal is different from most fighting games, to knock opponents off the stage. As damage increases, the farther an opponent will be launched. Let's say how far will I be able to launch the enemy with 60% damage? There are a lot of things to note here, such as the power of an attack and its base knockback, character's weight and gravity, equipment and its damage taking. A lot of it is very complicated. When developing a game, the formula is then applied when programming, so it will use the formula to see the results when playing it. Also, take note that geometry is very important. You may need to find an area of a circle and the distance from one entity to another. Math is indeed important, and it is required to develop a game as well. STEM education can contribute to video games and vice versa, and we showed the purpose and connection of the aforementioned branches in STEM to video gaming. STEM can be a perfect choice for game development or just software programming as well. STEM, Tech Rock, and Arts and Design track all have relations to video games as well, not only limited to STEM. ABM strand can also contribute for the budget and the sale of the game as well. And with that, we conclude our discussion about how STEM contributes to video gaming. Thanks for watching.